All right. First things first, let me welcome everybody out there in Zoom land, and then all the folks that are going to be watching this later in the archive. Let me just say hello, Chef Eric, Chef Catherine. We are about to get busy with Farm to Table. Couple of notes, okay, and you know, it normally happens that the people that need to hear this aren't here, but there's a couple of things you really need to know. Okay, turning an assignment in late is better than not turning it in at all. But turning your assignment in early can defeat turning it in late. When you turn it in late or you turn it in incomplete, trust me, we are still going to grade it. We're going to grade it with just as much enthusiasm. Here's the biggest thing though. You have to remember when you turn it in late, points come off. It's a natural thing. The other thing is when your assignment is due on Tuesday at 11:59:59, we cannot leave the assignments open. During that time, IT goes through everything that's not submitted or graded automatically gets put on. Oh, you're late. So we have to go through and then we have to input zeros. A zero is not a death sentence. A zero is not, I don't want you going out jumping off a cliff. The zero just means that you haven't turned it in yet, which also should give you motivation to say, okay, hey, I'm gonna get it in today, Chef. Chef Catherine and I know life happens. Trust me, we really know. This past weekend, past couple of weeks, life has happened for both of us. So it's one of those things we know. You know, we've both been in kitchens. We've been cooking. We know life happens. Kids get sick. Babysitters don't show up. Idiots drop pots on their foot, and then you got to go in and you got to take their shifts. We know these things happen. We're not saying you can't turn anything in late. We're just saying balance out your time. If you have free time on Thursday and Friday, or if you have free time on Sunday. I was the kid in high school that used to get his homework done on Friday. For those, I'm not going to say no names, but those teachers that give homework over the weekend, I couldn't stand them. But I was the guy who would get his homework done on Friday. Get it done. Because guess what? The football game, the parties, all that stuff don't start till about 10 o'clock anyway. You're not missing nothing. Get your work done. Get it out the way. That way you don't have to worry about it. Mikkel, what do we got? Hello, Mikkel, are you there? You have your hand up. Mikkel. Okay, we'll move on. You're muted, Chef Catherine. I don't know if you know.
Thank you, Chef. I was just going to say, Mikkel, put it in the chat or let us know what's up.
Yep. All right, so we're going to move on. This week, we are talking about more fun stuff. And I'm about to share my screen, do my little presentation, which is way back here. Farm to Table, labels. How many people read labels when you go to the grocery store? I hope everybody raises their hand on this one because you should be reading your labels. There's stuff for all those people who, the many people who emailed me or put in their assignment, Chef, I'm never buying, and I told y'all this was going to happen last week. Chef, I'm never buying granola again. I knew I'd have some convertees because it tastes so much better when you make it yourself. Yes, you can go to the store and buy a cake, but if you make it yourself, no matter how ugly it may look, that cake tastes 3 times better when you make it yourself. So when we look at labels, what are we looking at? What do we need to be looking at? Okay, we need to look at what's in your label. We need to look at the ingredients. What in the world? So this is what we're going to be looking at today. We're going to be looking at what's in your label, defining what heirloom vegetables mean, and working with a vegetarian diet. So what's in your label? The things now that we have to worry about, calories, I don't really worry too much about, because you know what? I'm gonna rack up calories. That's just it. I like to eat. Okay. But what I do, Chef Catherine says yes. What I do concern myself with is how much fat I'm consuming. And of course, we all know saturated fats, a little bit, saturated and trans fats, the ones that are bad for you, cholesterol, sodium, which is another one you need to watch. And for those who count carbs and all that other good stuff. We have a little video. I stopped showing it a while ago because it doesn't really tell you what you need to. What kind of things do y'all look for on your labels? Anyone? Get a couple of people here.
Chef, we do have some people, I'm just gonna say what we've got in the comments. We've got some people saying, yes, I do read, others saying, nope, sodium. Some saying, I really don't look at it because I don't want to know what I'm eating because it is scary.
I'm gonna do that when I do candy.
Yeah, we got sugar. Sugar and sodium fat percentage is what we're looking at right now.
Okay, yep. Sal, what do you look at?
You're looking at food coloring. You're looking at different dyes just in your food. You might have certain foods that have a little bit of alcohol concentrate in, but it's not the alcohol that you think it is.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of stuff that people don't read and don't realize what you're doing to your body.
Yep. True.
Excellent observations.
Yep. And one of the things Sal brought up was dyes. Okay, so probably for a lot of you, I'm not going to say all of you, but a lot of you were born, they had outlawed red dye number 5. It was one of the favorite dyes because it comes out beautifully bright red. It was for hearts and, it was just everything. It looked beautiful, but it was killing people. It had a cancer-causing agent in it. And so they outlawed it and banned it. And they worked tirelessly for almost 30 years trying to get a dye that wouldn't kill you and would get that same brightness of color. Roger, what you got?
I was gonna say something about a dye too, because I don't know, I'm more older like you. Was it one they took out of like the M&Ms or it was the M&Ms? Yep. Remember, it was one color they took out because of that dye.
That was the red dye number 5.
And I would always we were looking at labels. Yeah, we're looking at labels. I always look at, like you said, the salt, especially the sodium content, because when I'm walking down the aisle and somebody will pick up a can of vegetables, I was like, do you really want that? So let me show you something. And I was like, for them to keep that vegetable that long, because I worked at vending for a while after I retired, and we would keep stuff on shelves, and then you put another date on this talking about it's fresh. And if you know anything, I know, like military, like you the MRE's been sitting in the
don't go there
warehouse for maybe 10 years before you even get it. So I was like, hey, watch what you're sitting, because they have to pack it with something to hold it. So evidently you probably don't want to eat that. So I do. They put the can of vegetables back down because it was like, oh, okay, I won't eat it. You're right.
Yep, you hit a good one. I'll touch on that later because I was a cook in the military, so I know exactly what you're talking about with the MREs. Zamara, what do you got? Hopefully I said that right. If I didn't, please correct me.
Yomada, or you guys can call me Marisa if you don't want.
Yomada. That it? Okay. I probably still get it wrong again, but what do you got?
So one thing I look at is, I want to be honest, I studied medicine for 3 years. I didn't fully finish, but what I look for is different types of additives that introduce to sugar.
Sugar,
so, because you get maltodextrose, cellulose, different types that they disguise it in pretty words that could be three times the normal amount. So that's
Yep.
like one of the big no-nos that I look for.
Oh yeah. Well, like they teach us, you know, they taught us in the military, anything with odium is salt. Anything with os, which is O-S-E, is sugar.
Yeah.
So you have to look at all those things because you, and if you look, like if you go to a plain box of cereal, it's like, what? Dextrose, glucose, you know, xylose. It's like, what in the world? All of that is excess sugar, which is why, you know, people, you know, sodium, high blood pressure, sugar, you know, people are retaining, you know, retaining fat because you think you're away from the sugar because you just looked up here for the sugar, but you don't realize that the ingredients, each one of them can turn into sugar. All right. Sal, what you got?
Yes, Chef. I was going off of what Roger was talking about. It was made up into the cans.
Yep.
You got
Oh, yeah.
sodium. You got it's 4 different ingredients that goes into storing food in cans.
Preservation. Yep.
Right. So by me being there and reading all this, I don't even bother them anymore. I'll go straight to my frozen section and I'll get everything that's frozen.
Frozen still has a bit of salt in
It
it,
has a bit of
but
salt, but
not as high.
it's not as high.
Yep.
So,
I've seen canned vegetables have upwards of 200, 300, 400 grams
exactly.
or milligrams
Exactly.
of
Yeah.
you know, of sodium. So
Usually I stay with my frozen fruit, my frozen stuff, my fresh foods. I've been practicing farm to table for a long time. You know, as a kid, you don't realize what you're eating
yep.
when your parents cook it.
Oh, yeah.
Because when I grew up on, you know, garden food and canned foods. So, you know, you never knew what you was getting as a kid.
Yep.
You just ate it.
Oh yeah.
You know, because back then, if you didn't eat it, you was in trouble.
You better eat that or else you're not gonna eat. Go to bed.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah. I got that speech on liver nights only.
That's right.
Everything else was worth eating.
Yes, yes. So I love fresh foods. And to any of my classmates, please try to stick as much as you can to your fresh foods because your cholesterol, your blood pressure, it's a lot of things you have to worry about now.
Yep, way too much. All right. Heirloom, heritage. What does this basically mean? So like, I know everybody's heard of heirloom tomatoes. All right, that's number one thing most people hear about. Well, basically heirloom is referred to as an edible plant variety that's been grown through years and years and years of human history. And most of them are genetically distinct from, you know, varieties you'll find commercially. Normally, whenever I see heirloom tomatoes, it's always at a farmer's market. And I'm telling you, you'll look at those, the ones you see in the grocery store, you know, they're about that big. They're okay, you know, but you get a good heirloom tomato, they're huge. They're huge. And they always have, you know, all kinds of little weird shapes to them. So, but these are from, because they've been passed down for generations through family that saved seeds. So these people have saved the seeds. You know, I know most people don't think when you're making you a BLT that I'm going to take the seeds out and dry them out and use them to grow more. But that's what these folks did, you know, and or they came from seed banks. And I forget where that seed depository is. It's over in Europe, but it's got the largest seed depository of different plants and vegetables. Vegetarian. Now there's a lot of people out there going vegetarian and there's nothing wrong with that. The different types are lacto-ovo, pescatarian, vegan, and flexitarian. With lacto-ovo, eggs and dairy are allowed. If you follow that diet and then you refrain from eating eggs in addition to meat products, you know, That's up to you. I myself, I eat everything because I know how to properly cook things. I do understand the why some people go the vegetarian route, and I have nothing against that. Pescatarian does not eat meat or poultry, but does eat fish. That's probably the one thing I don't eat as much as I used to, just because of these fisheries that are out there emptying out the oceans and not letting them recover. Vegan is, of course, the most restrictive form. Vegans do not consume any animal products of any kind: meat, seafood, dairy, cheese, milk, and eggs. Speaking of being in the military, we did have a few problems with this when I was in the military, because a lot of your cosmetics, your lotions, a lot of that stuff still has these byproducts in it. So if you call yourself, or if you follow these diets, you really need to check everything, because there's a
Yeah.
lot of
Yes, I'm getting excited.
there's a lot of
I want to point out something that's super interesting as well.
Yep.
This is a bit of advice, word to the wise for anybody who's vegan or vegetarian, and you like wine. Well, guess what? Majority of wine is filtered through
Yep.
fish or dairy. All
Right.
right. It can be filtered through fish gills, chitosan, which is the chemical compound that is basically found on the shells of crustaceans, or dairy products. All of this clarifies the wine, so it takes out impurities, because we like clear wines. We think when they're cloudy that they're not good or dirty or
Yep.
old, when really that's just the natural fermentation process. But they've gotten to a point where they're clarifying all of this. So if anybody is vegetarian or vegan, or has somebody in their family who says, oh yeah, I do that, and is sitting there pounding out of the wine, I think that it's a great thing. Remember, knowledge is to be shared. When I found that out, I was totally mind blown. And I thought, no way. I
Yep.
wonder how many vegetarians and vegans are out there drinking wine, thinking they're totally, animal free, and they're not. And on that same note,
wines used to be carried in sheep's stomachs.
yes, exactly.
People don't know these things, and not just in biblical days like this. We're talking back in the 40s and 50s. Empty out a sheep's stomach, carry your wine, because they're strong. So flexitarian, if you can't quite commit to cutting out all meat, flexitarian diet allows for occasional meat or seafood. It follows the lacto-ovo vegetarian or even vegan lifestyle, most of the time only consuming meat and seafood every once in a while, which would be more than likely special occasions or holidays. This week's chores. Honestly, anytime I cook, I don't consider it a chore, but some people do. So, need to participate in the live session, which those who are here, you're good. Complete your knowledge checks and conversion knowledge checks. One quick thing about knowledge checks and your conversion knowledge checks. If you take the exam all 3 times, or if you take it once and then you take it again soon thereafter, you have to wait for the system to reset itself, rebalance itself. And that can take anywhere from an hour to a couple of days before it'll re-register, or it'll register the better grade. Okay, so just keep that in mind. If you haven't seen anything after a couple of days, then yes, hit me up. Hey, chef, I retook the quiz. This is what happened. I got this grade, but it's showing another grade. Then I'll go in and see, make sure it's in there at least. And then that way we'll just wait for the process to happen. And then complete your assignment. The assignment this week has 3 products. 3 of, I would say most people probably have never given these a second look. Some have, but I can tell you, this is where I got a lot of converts in the past couple of classes. Black bean burger. I actually entered a black bean burger competition and won. Yes, Never ate a black bean burger in my life. I just found a really good recipe that I liked. Went in, put some, and it's all in what you put on it and in it. But honestly, the judge was like, holy crap, like this is, oh, do you eat this at home? And I'm looking at him like, no, actually first time ever making. And then I was like, you know what? I don't want to sound stupid. So, first time ever making this recipe. Oh man, well, you need to keep this recipe in your arsenal. But so you're going to make black bean burger, you're going to make falafel, and you're going to make French fries. Now, the question is, what are some of the problems that people have had in the past? Chef Catherine and I was talking earlier, and I'm telling you, there's a laundry list of them. And please, for those here now, pay attention. And for those out there that will be watching it later, please make sure you pay attention to the advice we're about to give you. For your black bean burger, you thoroughly, so those two words, fully and thoroughly, need to drain your black beans. Okay? Keep the liquid over on the side in case you need to add a little moisture, but trust me, follow the recipe to the T, but make sure you drain. Don't just do the little, what I like to call the one dip. Put the lid over the thing, do the, yep, I drained enough. No, it needs to go into a colander and it needs to be drained. For your falafel, which is the one Chef Catherine and I have struggled with people the most, the recipe says you can use canned. As your instructors, we are looking you right in your eye and telling you, do not, if you can avoid it, please do not use canned. Soak your chickpeas. Please soak them and soak them properly. So if you're not going to do it till Saturday, soak them on Friday. It takes a couple of seconds. Into a dish, water, leave them set. It's that simple. But soak your chickpeas. They come out so much better. Canned chickpeas, they're going to come out watery. And when you put them in to fry them, what's going to happen? They're going to explode. And then you're just going to have fried pieces of basically of dough. And then you're going to be like, Chef, I don't know what happened. And I'm going to tell you exactly what happened, because I'm going to ask you to see your mixture, which is one of the reasons why we have you take a picture of the mixture so that we can see if it was a good consistency. All right. Next thing, French fries. The directions call for, what's that? What's that? 2, right? 2 different temperatures, 2 different frying times. This is not to make you do more work. This is not to mess with you. This is not, I just fry them and I know they'll come out all right. No, this is a process. When you see the McDonald's fries that everybody loves so much, that are so delicious, and you bite them to them and they're crispy and over salted. I used to work at McDonald's, so I know what I'm talking about. Over salted and everything. But when you get that snap, they were already fried. They were already fried before they were put into the bag and frozen. So this is why you have to do the same thing. You're frying them at a lower temperature. Take them out. You let them cool down. You can stick them in the refrigerator or the freezer, either one. And then you fry them at a higher temperature, and that's where you get that crispier, that crispy crunch. So if your fries don't come out, please don't try to convince me that you did them twice or you fried them twice, because you probably didn't. All right. LaSalle, what you got?
Yes, Chef. Question about the black beans.
Uh-huh.
Would you prefer us to soak them or use a can?
I would use the can on the black beans.
Okay.
Because a lot of people did try cooking and overcook the beans.
Right.
So the burger doesn't come out right.
Okay.
I'm not pushing products. I'm not pushing labels, but honestly, bush beans works best for me.
Okay. Thank you, Chef.
No problem. Brianna. Oh, go ahead, Chef Catherine.
Brianna can go. Brianna.
Hey, I had turned in my assignment, but I
Uh-huh.
don't know if it's been graded or not. Cause I couldn't tag y'all in. I didn't know what to write down to tag y'all in it.
Okay, well,
I'm still grading, anything that came in, Monday. We've got a 48-hour grading period, so I'm, grading. That's what we all try to do. Like, Chef and I were both out of town, this weekend, so, we are in there and grading, and, that's pretty much it. So if you.
Oh, okay. I was just making sure
oh yeah,
that it came through, that it
Yeah,
went through to y'all.
If you
if
don't,
you
basically,
don't see a 0, I can tell you, because that first thing we had to do this morning was the ones that haven't been turned in, they go straight to 0. So if you don't have a 0, it's in. We just haven't gotten to it.
Okay, and I was trying to find like your contact number as well.
Nope, you don't need to
Be
call.
able.
right
don't?
on the class page.
It's on the class page. Don't be calling me. No, I'm just joking.
Is that in the I looked at that, but I didn't know. I didn't see it on there. So I was like, where would you find like the email or the phone number? To
It'll be over on the
contact
little sidebar.
Yeah.
You'll see a side tab. Click on that. It'll bring up all your instructors' information, office hours, everything.
Okay, thank you.
Or you can contact us through Moodle.
You said what again?
Moodle.
What is that?
You should have gotten some emails from us already. I sent out an email letting you know that, we're having live session tonight. So you should have seen some emails from us already.
Yeah,
No, I
that's Moodle is our online learning system. So basically, when you hop onto the class platform, the website essentially, online learning pretty much comes in 2 forms, Moodle or Blackboard. We use Moodle. So any message that you get through the class website from us, that's coming through Moodle. Anything from, at staff.escoffier, or at, escoffier.edu. Those are going to be through an email. And FYI, sometimes, and you do not want to get an email from this, but sometimes you might get emails from another email called Salesforce. Those do not reply to. You'll just get them sent back. That comes from our another email and contact service platform. But that's just going to give you some information about grades or student standing, things like that. But you hop right on. We send messages 2 to 3, 4 times, depending upon if you're submitting work or not, per week. And those are going to all come through Moodle. So if you just respond to our message, you're going to go straight into it. And Moodle is the best way, I personally think, because you're already in there doing work, and it's just like whether you're on the app or on your computer, and that's boom, boom, boom.
Exactly. Beverly.
Okay, then. Thank you.
Hey, I just want to have 2 quick questions. New to the class. Class is going to be every day this week at the same time at 4 your time, 5 our time.
4 p.m. Central
Depending on where
Standard
you're at.
Time. Yeah, we don't know where you are, but if you're East Coast, 4
East
p.m.
Coast,
Central Standard Time every Wednesday. Study hall is at 3 p.m. every Friday, Central Standard Time.
Yes, not trying to mess up your Friday evening, so do it early on Friday and get out.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
And are you okay? And I hope that you're healing and doing all right.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yep. All right. So you know the assignment.
Okay.
And hey, there we go. Live sessions Wednesday. Week 2, of course, was today, 4 p.m. Study hall is going to be every Friday at 3 p.m. All right. You're muted.
I know, always doing that.
Not a problem.
We did just have a question coming in. We're gonna review the recipes, but blenders are gonna do a great job for that black bean
Yes.
patty. Some blenders, depending upon the size and the strength, might have a slight issue with your chickpeas that have been soaked.
Yeah, your falafel. Oh, yeah.
But Because remember, you're soaking these. Now, this is something that's really interesting. We all know that when beans are harvested, they're fresh, right? They come in a pod, they're fresh, they're soft, they cook super quick and fast, right? Now, when they've been packed, they've been dried, they've been put in storage, depending upon where you go, where you shop, what your community is like. Sometimes those beans, because let's put a guess. How long do we think beans stay for on the shelves? How long are they good for? How long are those dried beans good for? How long do they last?
A lot of years.
Months? Ooh, pick it up. Years? Call
Years.
it decades. Hello, decades, centuries. All right, centuries. Yeah, they've dried it out. Remember, spoilage. What we do is we take out that moisture. Beans are good to go. Okay. So now the problem is, depending upon how old and how long they've been sitting on this shelf, the more moisture, they're going to get drier and drier and drier with time. So some people might say, I soaked those beans for 6 hours and they're still super rock hard. You probably have a package of really old beans. Keep letting them soak. All right. Let them soak. Let them soak. If they're not growing, right, they should be doubling in size.
Yep.
And if they're not growing, they're still super hard. You need to let them soak more. Be sure that you are changing out that water and that your room temperature is quite cool. In hot areas, those beans are going to start to ferment, and then you're going to spoil those. Those are going to be spoiled. So you want to make sure that you're training that water. If it gets to a point where it's over 8 hours, change that water. Keep that in, put it in the fridge, right? It's still going to soak up water. It's going to take a little bit longer, but that would be my suggestion, because dried beans are really hard. And if your blender is not strong enough, they're going to struggle. You want to just make sure that you have a strong enough blender. Doing it in smaller batches will help. Don't overcrowd. Make sure you turn it off, unplug, take a spatula or the back of a spoon, get those bigger chunks out so you're not getting clumps and just grinding the bottom and saying, why isn't anything happening, right? Don't stick a wooden spoon in there and then think, oh yeah, I thought I had turned it off. Next thing you know, you've ruined a batch again, because now you have splinters all in your food, right? I'm telling you this because these things happen, class, okay? You don't learn those things by not, having that happen to you, okay?
Yeah.
Trying to warn you.
Anytime you hear us give you advice, it's because we've either seen it in class or we witnessed it in a restaurant. It's just like with the deep fat fryer. I could tell you 1,000,000 times someone didn't plug the hole, someone didn't melt the grease before they put it in and caught fire. 1,000,000 of them. But with the chickpeas, Chef is 100% right. Personally, and I think Chef agrees with me, 24 hours is best. Now, if they're still hard after 24 hours, then you got some really old beans. But 24 hours seem to work for everybody. Brianna, what do you got?
Sorry for being annoying, but I just want to make sure I always do my assignments right. So you said 24 hours to soak the chickpeas?
Yes. If you have chickpeas now and you plan on doing the recipe sometime between now and Saturday, just figure out which day you're going to do it. If you're going to do it on Friday, soak them today. Start them tonight. Because the thing is, even once you soak them, you can kind of give them the little squeeze test. If you feel they're hydrated enough, you can drain the water off, put them in the fridge, and they'll be ready. So remember, you can do that. Or you can wait till tomorrow. Say, look, I know I'm going to do them probably around 3 o'clock. So tomorrow around 2 o'clock, go ahead and soak them. So that way you give yourself a day and a little bit extra just to make sure that they're fully hydrated.
Okay. And on the word that start with an F, do you do both of them or you do one of them?
Oh no. In this class, you're doing every dish you're gonna do.
I think, Chef, Brianna, were you saying for the falafel, do you do both? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it says the pan and it says it has it by itself.
Yes, that's what Chef Eric was just talking about.
Yeah.
We highly suggest doing the first version where you're using dried chickpeas. The second option is using canned, and it's just not, that's not that good. And let me just tell you something. This is also what Chef Eric and I were talking about. These days, we see falafel on menu items a lot, right? Who's seen falafel a lot? So, right?
I seen it,
they're-
but I didn't know what it was.
Yeah,
I
okay,
was
so
like, yeah.
great. You're
Yep.
gonna have that experience and to try them out firsthand. But a ton of people are doing them. And if you want to be competitive in this industry, highly suggest you're not selling canned chickpea falafels, because people are gonna
Okay,
say, where's
okay.
that texture?
Hey,
You have a completely different texture, right? We're taking dried chickpeas, soaking them. They're hard, but they're gonna break down, right? You fry them, they're crunchy. I mean, you should have a solid crunch on that. And they're gonna be fully cooked and moist and tender inside. If you take canned chickpeas, mush those up, pan sear those. First of all, you're never gonna develop the crunch. And honestly, I won't be coming back to your restaurant. I'm just gonna tell you that straight up. That's not what I expect from a falafel. It's not what I want. It's gonna be pasty, as Chef
Yep.
Eric is showing.
like
It's just not
you should hear
crunch.
nice, and then it's like a hush puppy on steroids,
Yes.
because the crunch is beautiful, and then the inside is just nice and tender. But
You will, oh, and also dipping sauce. Dipping sauce. I personally suggest either making up some toum, either T-O-U-M or T-U-U-M, which is essentially like a Middle Eastern aioli. All right, you're using, but minus the egg, right? You're using oil, lemon juice, and garlic. It should be garlicky, and it should be thick, like a consistency almost like aioli. Oh,
Yep.
but talk about heavenly. I mean, just pungent and great. Or taking some tahini. You all should have some tahini left over from Cuisines of the World. Tahini, got some fresh garlic in there, throw in a little extra olive oil. You could do something with harissa, right? Some of like a really like spicy, tzatziki is not really that what you wouldn't normally pair with falafel. Some people think you do, but it's not. You're gonna want to go like tahini or garlic base or some spice. Yogurt's great and it can be delicious, and it works well in a pita sandwich, but amp it up. Give yourselves the pleasure of dipping that falafel in something.
if you're going to use something, well, the toum is perfect, as Chef said. It's perfect flavor, perfect complement to it. If you're going to use anything else, yogurt, anything like that, like Chef said, doctor it up. And what we mean by doctor it up, go ahead and add a couple of squirts of hot sauce, whatever your favorite condiment is. I'll put it that way.
Definitely. You could even make an awesome like yogurt, some garlic, and the tahini. So you get some extra creamy. Maybe you don't want to make the toum, but you can go, those products are already made, whip that up. I mean, cayenne.
Oh, yes.
Who's getting hungry, right?
People have already stated that they went to get some chips because they were.
Yes. Yes.
And for Jasmine, yes, you will be able to use that big jar of tahini. Norman, what do you got?
So I don't know exactly what a falafel is. I've never seen one or heard of one. Or even
All right. Well, it is delicious, first and foremost.
Yes.
I will pull up a visual, and we're going to go over the recipe right now, but I can pull up a visual for you right now.
Have you
Hails
ever-
from
Oh, I was just going to say, have you ever had a gyro?
a who?
Gyro,
I don't know what that is either.
called street meat. That's what we call
No, I have
it.
not.
Okay, where you from, Norman?
I'm from the South.
Okay, that's not a problem. Nothing. True. I was just down south this weekend. Different parts of the country do different things. But as Chef said, it is a Middle Eastern, it's basically a Middle Eastern hush puppy. But I hate to say it, because I have aunts that cook hush puppies and they do great. I'm telling you, I'll be tearing them up with a little fish. Oh, just tearing them up. But if I have to take a pick, I'm going with falafel. As you can see on the screen, Chef has already pulled up different types of falafel, and I'm telling you, it's until you try it, you don't know what you're missing.
I'm craving falafel so much right now. Like you have no idea.
This is probably one of the hardest assignments, I think, for us chefs to grade, because like the black bean burgers that a lot of people do are great. The falafel looks great, and we're sitting here the whole time starving.
Exactly. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up these recipes so we can walk through them. Another thing to think about, when you get exposed to new items, right? Sometimes, we'll try something, we'll try to cook something that we've never had. Sometimes it might be cool if you look around and say, okay, where's a place that has falafel? Or where's a place that has, egg foo young, if you've never tried it, and see what they're doing, right? It's just a different way to get some more exposure and understanding. And the other beautiful thing about falafel is we're using beans. So you already get some extra protein in there. There's a lot of benefits coming from falafel, not to mention just purely delicious.
People say, oh, well, but it's fried. Yeah, but it's healthy fried.
Thank you. Those will be my last word. Well, it was healthy. It was fried, but it was healthy.
Healthy fried.
Yeah.
And
So,
it's not like you're deep frying them, but they take that long to cook.
exactly. All right. So let's pull up these black bean burgers. Check this out. Run through this. So another thing to mention, remember, vegetarian is trending hugely in the restaurant scene. People want plant-based. People are, especially these next few months where everybody's made New Year's resolutions, but this is not just a New Year's resolution. This is something that is having a major impact in the restaurant industry.
Yep.
If you don't have a vegetarian menu option, you're losing customers, right? Because say you have a group of friends who want to go out, everybody's got like, oh yeah, we're going to be eating meat or chicken or fish. And you've got the vegetarian friend or somebody who's on a diet or doing something. It's like, oh, well, we've got some French fries for you to, to eat. No, you want to make sure that your vegetarian customers have something delicious to eat. And these are some options, right? And, this black bean burger is just the base. Once you learn this base, you can start expanding. Maybe you're going to add different, the next time you want to make a veggie patty, you're throwing in mushrooms, you're throwing in walnuts, you're throwing in wheat berries, some onion, some sauteed onion to develop flavor, right? This is just to get the wheels turning and starting to think. This one has a little bit more of a Southwest spin on it. All right. So, we could talk about how we could jazz up this black bean burger as well after we run through this recipe. So as Chef said, go with the canned ones for this one. You can do cooked, but just keep it streamlined and easy. Take those cans, drain and rinse those. Okay. Process them somewhat coarse. All right. You don't want to take it into a full puree. You want some bite, because otherwise, remember, you're making a patty. So you do want to have a little bite, a little texture. We don't want to go to baby food. We don't want to make this fully pureed. Okay. You want a little bit of texture left in there. Next, tomatoes, small dice, no seeds. Okay. One thing on this, make sure you're taking all of that pulp out of there, right? That means the seeds, all that liquid. Otherwise, too much liquid is going to get these patties really wet, and you're going to have a problem forming those patties. So take out all that internal goop. All right. Take those seeds and that pulp out. If you cannot get your hands on fresh tomatoes and you have to use canned, that is okay. However, be sure to drain those through a mesh strainer. Get all of that liquid out. Press on that. Take that liquid, turn it into something else, right? That extra juice. But we want to get most of that liquid out of there. All right. Add your tomato, your onion, your garlic, your jalapeno, your lime juice, your cornmeal, your flour, cumin, salt, and puree until well blended. All right. Those are those other ingredients. All right. That's what we're going to add in there. Now, a few notes on that. If you don't want it spicy, be sure to de-seed and demembrane your jalapeno. If you like it spicy, keep it in there. All right. No problem. If you, for some reason, are saying, hey, I can't have gluten, you can use all cornmeal for this recipe. All right. Again, if you make any changes, the ones that we're talking about, you must note those in your narrative so we know what you're doing. Okay. Make sure to make those adjustments in your narrative. Refrigerate that mixture for at least 2 hours. Can somebody tell me why you rest this? Why? What are some of the reasons why we need to let that mixture sit in the fridge?
So it can harden.
So it can set up. Yes, exactly. What else might that help?
The flavors will meld.
Bingo. Yep. So it's going to help it set and flavor development. Beautiful, guys. All right. Next, you pull that out, divide that mixture into 5-ounce courses. All right. Form into balls and flatten into patties. 2 little tips here. If your mixture is just like, whoa, I'm having trouble with this, a little oil on your hands goes a long way. Same with the falafel. Anytime you're making any type of bones or patties, water or oil will really help that not stick to your hands.
Yep.
All right. So.
And it's not going to hurt it because you're going to be frying them in a pan with oil.
Exactly. And again, consistency. We're going to be looking at your patties. If we've got a bunch of really crazy shapes, teeny ones, huge ones, where's the consistency? Again, think about if you're a customer sitting out at a restaurant. Chef Eric and I roll up. We order the same thing. Chef Eric's got this beautiful, perfectly formed black bean burger, and I've got like this little dinky thing, raggedy on the edges. I'm just like,
Ain't even covering the bun.
Stinks, right? So consistency, also uniformity in cooking. These are things that we're looking at. Pan fry or griddle over moderate heat, about 4 minutes on each side. All right. And then load that up. Hamburger bun. Guess what? What do we do with hamburger buns in the industry? Do we just take them out of the package and throw them on?
No, we toast them.
Bingo. Yes, we toast them. Flavor development, warmth, right? Because otherwise we're taking a hot patty, throwing it on a cool bun. Nope, toast that bun. You know, if you're not vegan, get yourself some Monterey Jack cheese, a slice of Monterey Jack cheese, throw some cheese on there, broil, get that warm, get it nice and tasty. Maybe you want to make a little aioli with some chipotle in there, right? A little mayo chipotle with some extra lime for some special sauce. All right. Tomato, lettuce, some red onion. Maybe you want some pickled jalapenos on there to bust that up, right?
Ooh.
Jazz up your burger. All right. That's what I'm saying. Make that burger delicious.
Caramelize some onions.
Caramelized onions. Yes. Throw some extra cumin in there. Cheese. Melt some cheese. All right. Any questions regarding this black bean burger? Norman.
So all these ingredients are gonna add up to make it a patty, right?
Yes.
Because I know like black beans can be like a alternative for hamburger meat if you don't like hamburger meat.
Yep. And that's exactly what this is.
It's a veggie burger.
Okay.
Black
That,
bean
that
veggie.
I've actually seen. I've seen like
Oh yeah.
black bean burgers are all over the United States, I guess.
They are. Yeah.
We have a place here in Columbus just opened up. It's all burgers. Every type of burger you can think of: turkey, beef, shrimp. Oh, don't even give me. Ooh, that shrimp burger was good. Oh man, I'm about to have flashbacks.
I bet.
And they had a black bean burger, and everywhere I go, if you have a black bean burger, for some stranger, I have to order it, whether I take it to go or whether I eat it there, because I want to. I basically judge it against what I do, against mine. And this one here is about the closest that I found to the one that I do.
Awesome. I love it. Yeah, it's not a burger, right? It's not a meat burger, but it is a burger. It is a patty. It is a veggie patty. All right.
But you know what, Chef? I want to see how many people, and I want to say it was about 14 people in the last class, and before that, I think it was about 7, who say, I actually prefer the black bean burger to a regular burger. I even had one person tell me, hey, I said that, Chef, but don't tell anybody.
That's true, right? I've got 2 things to say, and then we're going to take questions from Sal and Beverly. 2 things to think about. Cost, right? What's the cost of ground beef versus black beans? All right, start thinking about that, right? Not only your customers, health. What about you're doing a meatless Monday, right? And you throw a black bean burger special on there, okay? The next thing that I'm going to say is, if you do not, and we're going to keep talking about this, remember, we're only in week 2. We have so much to talk about in Farmers Table, but if you do not know what cows contribute to carbon emission, the greenhouse gases and the environment and the toll that it takes, You will find out in this class. So I'm just dropping you some little hints. I'm not saying I don't eat meat. I do. There was a long time when I've explored all different types of diets because I think it's important to check that out. You know, I love a good steak. All right. But I eat mostly plant-based, right? But doesn't mean I'm not eating shrimp and chicken and fish and lamb and everything that I can come across. Rabbit, everything, horse, whatever, bring it on. I will eat it all. But I predominantly eat vegetables. All right. So that way, when I do have meat, it is, or fish or animal products, it is a fantastic, delicious experience. But I'm just saying, start thinking about it.
And Roger, you're right. Diversity. You know, Chef said last week, we want to get away from the ew factor. You know, when we were kids, you see something you didn't like. If it wasn't McDonald's, I know when I was growing up, if it wasn't McDonald's, it wasn't good. Everything was ew, or excuse me, McDonald's or White Castle. Because I'm from New York. That's how we used to do White. There you go.
White Castle. I'm from Illinois. We do White Castle too.
Oh, yeah.
Don't worry.
So if it wasn't those two, it's everything's ooh. But you know what? My mom made better hamburgers from scratch than McDonald's, White Castle, any of them. And she, you know what? When she, because I know most places they toast the bun, yeah, they put a little bit of butter down. No, Mama used to. She would saturate that bread with butter and then put it down. And I'm telling you, when you bite into it, just like Chef said, toast them. When you bite into it, it's just like, you literally have to stop for a moment because your brain is going 20 million different ways. So just keep that in mind. McDonald's and Whataburger. Oh, wait a minute, hold up. Now what you know about Whataburger?
We can go into so many things. We're gonna later. Well, I mean, let's not even talk about ramen.
We're not gonna talk right now, but you know, Whataburger. What you thought? Oof. So you about to get something started up in
Oh, I know. All right. LaSalle.
Yes, Chef. On the tomatoes, do you prefer us using Roman tomatoes?
Yeah, I would just go with aroma. I mean, you know, for your slices, obviously standard, people love a good old beef steak on your slices for a burger because you just have to have one. But Romas are more cost effective, and you can use that the Roma for inside. Remember, it's 2 ounces. It's not that much. And then you could always get get yourself two Romas. Make a few slices, put three slices on your burger, 3 little slices, thin slices. Yeah, but I would say
I know we're blanching the tomatoes and putting them in water, cold water to depill them. I know we're deseeding everything off of that.
You can concasse. That's the technique that you're talking about when you take you blanch, you boil, you blanch, and then you shock and you peel. But you don't need to go to all of those. This one, because you're going to be pureeing it, you're going to be blending it. So just taking those seeds out, you'll be good to go.
And the one thing about Romas, because one thing about Romas is the skin, the peel.
Yeah,
talking about it'll break down. It'll break down in these burgers.
Okay.
But if you do want to concasse, hey. You know, we know that little quick X, little ice cold water in the hot water or in the boiling water into the cold water real quick, peel. The other thing I like about, and I'm glad Chef recommended Romas, is the seeds are easier to take out.
Yeah.
Way easier.
Cut it in half, quick squeeze, seeds are out.
Yes. Thank you, Chef.
No problem.
Beverly.
Hey, just a quick question. Once the mixtures are all done, how long do they last shelf life? So like if you don't eat them all that one day, how long will they last in the fridge?
I have a strange feeling that you're going to probably eat them all that day. But
yeah.
I don't think black bean burgers last more than 2 days.
Exactly.
Okay.
Seriously. So if I do them for dinner, I might skip a day and then do them the next day for lunch. 9 times out of 10, yeah. And that's off of 1 can. So someone else asked earlier, do we have to do all 4 patties? No. If you can show me 2 good patties, and that's the thing, because we need to see the consistency. So if you can show me 2 good patties instead of showing me what you see here, like Chef said, got this one big, beautiful patty, and then hers is kind of looking like, looking like a burnt sock. You really don't want that. And
Okay.
also, when you go get everything, get your buns and say, hey, look, okay. Because how many people hate, and I can say anybody who used to eat back in the 70s can attest to this. You get this hamburger patty that's about this big and the bun is this big. And all you see is lettuce on the outside, thinking that you got a hamburger and you don't. Yeah.
Double stack, right? You could throw two burns on there. You could freeze your patties. Alternatively, remember, you can always have recipes, class. If you're one or two people in the household, or funds, make a half recipe. Notate that in the narrative. You're good to go. All right. So you should be fine with that. I saw one question. Cast iron skillet does work. Yes, definitely. Beverly, you good?
Yes, I'm good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Norman, and then we're gonna hop into I think we've got Norman and Mikhail, and then we're hopping into French fries and falafel.
Oh yeah.
So one quick question about the tomato for the hamburger when you put it on. Could we like fry the tomato and then have like a fried tomato for the hamburger, or do you want us to not fry it?
Go for it. You want a fried tomato on top of your burger?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it. If you want to, like I said, you want to make onion rings for your burger.
Let's clarify something real quick. Okay. Your assignment has to be graded by us. Okay. So as long as you have the minimum, it's fine. Your assignment has to be eaten by you. So any deliciousness you put on it, any extras you put on it, all that's going to do is make me as chef hungry, but it's also going to make us think, wow, hey, what is Norman doing? What in the world? Did Norman put blue cheese, or did he make a blue cheese sauce and put, see, look, I said that, a couple people like, because I had some people do that, crumble some blue cheese on. Anything you use to accentuate your burger, as long as we see the basic, do it. And that's why I said make two patties. So you do the one where it's like, hey, just plain burger, kind of set, do like we do in the restaurants, set the bun on the side, because later on you're going to fix that one up for whoever else is in the house. And then make that one, and I want to see that one too. Make that one where you've got the fried tomatoes. Man, are you serious? Ooh. Yes, that's deliciousness.
Because I grew up eating fried green tomatoes and red fried tomatoes, which was weird, but I liked it. So
no, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Thank you.
Stack it up.
I'm telling you, there's weirder foods around the world. I've eaten everything from scorpion to snake to, don't even get me started. And I did the whole thing. And guess what? When you taste it, you're like, holy crap. Crickets.
Delicious.
Tastes like sunflower seeds. People will look, oh, I'm not eating no cricket. Yeah.
Fry those up, some garlic, chili,
yep,
lime.
Try one. And if you can only eat one, you're better than me, and you're better than probably 100,000 more people, because you can never just eat one.
Exactly. Mikhail, I hope I said your name correctly this time. I know I botched it last time.
You're close, but don't feel bad. Everyone in America mispronounced. It's Mikhail.
Mikhail. Okay.
Quick question. First of all, good evening to you and Chef Eric. I cannot eat tomatoes because it flares up my arthritis. So can I extract that from the recipe?
Totally. Take them out, note it in your narrative, you're good to go.
Yep.
All right. Thank you.
We don't want anybody, losing anybody on our on our shift. If you're allergic to something, if it reacts with you a different way, just substitute.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you.
No problem.
You're welcome. All righty.
Favorite.
Let's hop into, we're gonna hop into falafel right now. Again, top recipe is what we want to be focusing on. You're gonna take those chickpeas, dried, rinse, drain, sort through, right? Let those soak overnight, up to 24 hours, minimum 8 hours, fully covered by water. Make sure you're putting in a large enough non-reactive bowl, and let those little guys just soak up all that water, get nice and plump. and then get ready for the next step. Drain that off, get in that food processor or a blender. But again, if you're doing blender, smaller batches, all right? So you just don't clog up the blender, all right? Pulse, shake, get that thing moving, whatever way to do so you don't just run it and grind it down. You wanna get that pretty coarse. You shouldn't have large chunks you don't want it like a half split chickpea in this mixture. It should all be fairly uniform. A little bit larger than, really coarse sand, like really coarse sand, the one that's almost like small, teeny pebbles. That's what you want to get it to, all right? But no large chunks in there.
Yep.
Then you're gonna get, you need to take your garlic, right? Your green onion, your parsley. You want to make sure when you're putting that in, chop that up. Really use your knife skills, all right? Really just run. Don't do, it says chopped, but give it a good run over, all right? Toss that in there with your chickpeas. Get that all together along with your spices, cumin, coriander, cayenne, salt, and pepper, and take that mixture out. You're gonna form balls, right? You're gonna need to use some force to get that mixture to hold together. If you need a little extra bit of moisture, take your fingers and put it in a bowl of water, right? And sprinkle like this, just little drops, just little teeny drops, just to give it a little bit more moisture. And pack those balls, get those nice and good, all right? And then you're gonna get that oil heated up to 350. If you do have a countertop fryer, yes, you can use this, right? Because majority of times in restaurants, you're gonna be using deep fryers where you're setting temperature. Is it great practice to know how to actually deep fry on your own without a saucepan? Yes, it's very important. That's how I learned. That's how I know how to moderate oil,
Yep.
all right, my temperature. Because sometimes you're gonna roll in and you wanna fry something and you don't have a tabletop fryer. Maybe you're doing a special event and you wanna have some beautiful fried herbs for a garnish. Oh, well, I don't have a deep fryer. I don't know how to fry anything. So I would say do it on the stovetop if you can. Practice your skills, right? We're in culinary schools. But I do understand for people who have the countertop, you know, you're probably frying quite a bit at home. Most likely, if you already have that. And I would say give yourself the challenge of doing it on the stovetop. But that's just me. As long as you're setting that correctly, 350, get that nice and beautiful. You can, flatten into a patty, as it says. The falafel tends to come in two different shapes. They're a little bit more flattened or round. And you are going to be ready to go. You want those golden brown and delicious.
Yep.
And I would personally say serve it in a pita over a hamburger bun. They're just going to be kind of rolly. A pita bun, a pita pocket is going to open up, or just serve them on that plate like Chef and I were talking about with a dipping sauce. You're good to go. All
Yep.
right. Maybe you like some of those other dishes from 132, the tabbouleh, things like that. Give yourself a whole fun Middle Eastern vegetarian spread. You'll be good to go. Alternatively, if you cannot, and this is if you cannot find those dried chickpeas, go with option B so you can complete the assignment. This was only put here because sometimes somebody might live in an extremely rural area and they weren't able to get their hands on dried chickpeas. This
Yep.
is not that you should be doing this. This is a plan Z. I didn't find dried chickpeas at the stores, okay? Canned chickpeas, make sure you are draining those, rinse and dry. Put those in the food processor with your onion, all right? Get that all blended up. Add the rest of your ingredients, right? Throw a little baking powder in there, about some of your flour, 4 tablespoons. Start off with that. If you need to add a little bit more, you can. But again, like Chef Eric was saying, these are a little pasty, all right? Just doesn't have the best texture, just saying, all right? And then let those refrigerate for an hour. We know that's to let things set and for flavors to disperse. Same thing goes for the black bean.
Yep.
Form those chickpeas patties, flatten them out, right? Take a ball and then you flatten it. That's how you form a patty. Again, you're gonna wanna use some oil on your hands so that they don't stick. All right, roll those out like that, right? Use your thumb and your pointer finger to get that nice round edge. Put it in, or you can use a scoop and press down. Heat some oil up in your cast iron skillet, saute pan, and cook those off. get a little fat in there, get it nice and golden brown, pull them off, season, salt and pepper, you are good to go. All right, those are easier to, those probably would be easier on a hamburger bun, to be honest. The balls are gonna be a little bit more difficult. Any questions?
And the reason they have you flatten out the alternative ones is because they won't hold that shape or that beautiful shape like the dried chickpeas. Mikhail,
Is that from before?
Mikhail,
Mikhail?
you have a question? Chef, we are just too in tune.
I know, we're way in sync. It's out of control.
I think he's from earlier.
Okay, Tom.
Hello, chefs.
Hi.
What's up, Tom?
So this reminds me of making fried plantains, and the comment I had on that where they
You
were.
need to stop, Tom.
No, I'm just saying when I
Now you're
made
making me hungry.
they were too thick. How thick should the falafel be? Because I'm kind of picturing, hush puppies are round, but then should this be like a half an inch?
If you're doing the patty, the canned chickpea version,
Mhm.
well,
No,
we don't want you to do that.
I'm using fresh.
Use fresh. Balls are bit. I think personally, balls are going to be easier to form. But if you want to do a patty, you're going for more than half of an inch.
Yeah, I would say.
Probably 3/4.
Yeah, well, I've never had them, so that's why I'm asking.
3/4 of an inch.
So do them round. So how are they served with Middle Eastern food? Do they just put it on the side and they eat it like hush puppies and fish?
Just like Chef showing you on the screen.
There you go.
So many different ways.
Yeah, honestly, just order them, pop them in. They're poppable. With a little dipping sauce, you can get them tossed in that falafel. You'd get it with a spread.
Dipping, a little bit of everything.
I'll tell you what confused me was it's been referenced on The Simpsons and they call them flavor patties.
Well, when you taste them,
You'll know. Yeah.
I thought they were like wafers, but
No, they're substantial.
Sandwich there, perfect.
when I was stationed in Germany, he was the guy, like the falafel guy was the guy to go to after you leave the club, 3 a.m. I wasn't hungover, some people were, and you always saw the falafel guy out there. Had his little pull cart, and I'm telling you, he made a killing. And he only had to work 2 nights a week.
Well, there's nothing like fried food after a bar, so.
Exactly.
And he was killing it. So, and he already knew. He would just, everything went in a, you'd be like, falafel, pita.
Can we just say, look at this, hummus, that's some toom, some extra parsley, and that
there you
falafel.
go.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. I'm literally salivating. We need to stop this right now.
That's why we take these classes to learn these things, so.
Oh, yeah.
And I do appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very welcome. And we are happy to have all of you here. So let's hop on in to French fries and then wrap this up, see if there are any other questions.
And feel free to go on Google and search and see, that's another good place to get your plating ideas.
100%.
And I know a lot of people are looking to focus on plating, which is a beautiful thing because we eat with our eyes, as we said last week. But, go on Google, see what other people are doing. You don't have to copy, but you can copy and improve.
Get inspired.
There you go.
That's what it's all about.
French fries.
Whose favorite vegetable? Hello. Just saying. Okay. It is a vegetable. All right. Well, considered. So Idaho potatoes, again, specific. Do we know the difference between what's an Idaho potato, also known as a russet potato, also known as what type of potato?
Cucumber.
Nope. But I love you hopping in here.
It's a starchy potato.
Starchy. What's the Yukon Gold? Carl, I don't know who said that, but what's the Yukon Gold? What type of potato is that one?
Waxy.
Yeah.
Waxy, right? So different styles of potato. Remember, different potatoes do well in different formats. We want to use a starchy potato because you're going to get a beautiful interior, light and fluffy and crispy on the outside. Waxy or partially waxy potatoes are a bit more dense. They have more moisture in there, okay? Totally different bite and texture. You're not going to get the same results if you utilize a waxy potato for this assignment. We need to make sure that you're using Idaho or russets, okay? Also known as baking potatoes, all right? For anybody that's confused, I'm just going to pull this up because I don't want to see these because I've seen it before. Idaho potato, this is what it looks like. All right, this is what they look like. Boom, beautiful, right? That dark dirt brown, kind of creamy white inside, Red Bliss, Yukon Gold, those don't do the job for this. Those are very different. All right, Idaho, these are really dirty usually, so make sure you're cleaning those off nice and well. All right, then you're gonna peel them, eye them, right? You're taking those off in case there's any little eyes or green spuds in there, take that out. Those peels, we are in farm to table. We don't want to be wasting, right? Nobody wants to waste food. That's also your food, right? You paid for that peel. What can you do with that? Well, shoot, you already have oil. You're gonna be frying. Might as well fry those suckers up, right? Beautiful little crispy deliciousness. Sprinkle some cayenne pepper or some salt and pepper, some garlic salt, whatever you like. Now you've got something to munch on, right? Just saying, just saying. All right.
Old Bay.
Oh, yes, Old Bay.
Just a quick little sprinkle.
Perfect, right? So now we've reduced that waste. We're still enjoying. And you're going to make sure that we're using our knife cuts, knife skills, right? Make a block, right? We're going back. We're still in culinary skills. Use your knife skills. You make a block. Remember, take those edges off, make a hash, saute them up, throw them into a pot of soup, turn that waste into something else. All right. We want to see your knife cuts. 1 centimeter by about 3.5. Cool with that. You know, we don't want little short ones, minimum 3. You want to go a little bit longer? Cool. All right. Hold them in cold water. Why do we do that? What's that magical word? What are we trying to prevent?
Yep, browning.
Browning, what is also known as?
Oxidation.
Oxidation. Yep, oxygen, right? That's the root of that. Oxidize, that means oxygen's gotten to them. Apples
Same thing
happen
with your
that.
scraps.
What's that, Chef?
Chef, I was going to say same thing with your scraps. So when you take those peels off, if you're going to fry them, throw them back in the water so they don't oxidize. All right. I think Chef Catherine might have froze up there a little bit.
Looks like it.
Yep. Oh, she's back.
Oof, I know. Okay,
just
hopefully
froze up a little.
recording stayed on. I'm hoping, fingers crossed.
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
so yeah, cool. Yeah, like Chef said, keep those ends in there so they don't oxidize as well. You're good to go, right? Save those, utilize them in any other dish, right? I'm seeing eggs and hash browns, just saying. Some bacon in there tomorrow. All right, then line that sheet pan, a sheet tray with, it doesn't have to be brown paper, any type of paper towel. All right, you want to drain and dry those. Why are we drying them? Why are we drying these potatoes?
Order and order.
To drain the grease off of it, the moisture and the grease.
We do want to drain the grease off, but why first do we want to dry those?
Before you put them in the grease.
Don't explode.
They don't want to create a water swell.
I think I'm hearing it, and I think I heard it, which was one of the biggest enemies of fat, right? Oil is water, all right? And salt, all right? But water, right? We throw in something that has a lot of moisture, we've got an issue, all right? So you want to dry those potatoes off, get them as dry as you can be so that you're ready to dunk those in. Remember, also don't overcrowd your fryer. When we overcrowd a fire, the temp is going to really drop, okay? And then you get fat logged potatoes and French fries or whatever you're frying, right? Nobody wants something that's, we're already frying. We want to minimize the extra fat that it's absorbing. So don't overcrowd your pan or your frying basket, all right? Bit by bit, so you don't drop that temperature too low. All right, that's gonna be 325 for your first fry, all right? You want to just cook these through. You should not have color changing happening here. You're just going to go from something that's opaque to a little bit more translucent. All right. Just par cooking.
Yep.
All right. Now, that point, they should be cooked through and soft, as it says, right? That's what we want to do. Remove the potatoes from the fire, turn them onto the sheet pans in a single layer to drain, refrigerate. Okay. At service time. Now, this is at service time, right? This is if you're doing massive batches, you're rolling in huge sheet trays, right? We're talking about massive sheet trays. Crank that heat up, 350 to 375. Get those until they're brown and crisp. Okay. The best French fries out there are twice fried.
Yep.
Par cooked.
Yep. Even
Okay.
McDonald's fries, when they come to the restaurant in that frozen bag, they've already been par cooked.
Yeah, all those fries that you buy at the grocery stores, those have all been par cooked. They've all been steamed, usually steamed or blanched, and then you're going into the fryer. All right. Drain well, right? Salt them away from the fryer. Or let customers salt their own. Well, if you're serving customers, let them. Otherwise, salt away and enjoy. All right. So this is where we're at. Does anybody have any questions? Let us see.
Some people might be worried about their knife cuts. Do the best you can. And I'm telling you, knife cuts are all about practice. So anytime you're preparing something, even if you're not preparing something for class, if you're at work, if you're at home and you're making something, practice your knife cuts.
Totally. And remember, if you're really worried, get a few extra potatoes, work on those blocks. All right. And make yourself some mashed potatoes. Who doesn't love mashed potatoes? Hello, Duchesse potatoes, whatever.
Yep.
Create potato and leek soup.
Oof.
Yeah, it's winter. Do it. Bryn.
Hi, Chefs. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. You?
Good.
Good. Two things. Thank you for the idea of the potato skins in the fryer. That sounds amazing. I didn't know what to do with those potato skins, and now I got a great idea. And second, I tried making the fries today, and they came out soft, not crispy. I'm trying to figure out what I did wrong. Was my oil too low, you think, or?
Did you have your thermometer in the oil?
Yes, sir.
And what was it reading?
About 315, 325, too low. Okay. I'm gonna try it again.
Remember that second fry is where you get crisp.
Yeah.
First fry is to cook, the second fry is to crisp up.
Okay.
And remember, you want to get color on them.
Yes.
And is your thermometer calibrated?
I don't know what that means.
That's okay.
Get a cup of water, get some ice cubes, crunch them up, put it in the water, let it get nice and, just like you make an ice water. Take your thermometer, insert it. It should drop below 0. Or it should start dropping down. If it's not moving, yeah, your thermometer is, or if it's reading 50, ice water is a lot colder than that.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
what one student did and put salt in the ice water. That wasn't good.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
And I personally would do 375, anywhere between 350 and 375 for your second fry, but I would do 375. That's kind of what that's for me frying. 375 is what I want to hit.
Yep. That's where you're going to get the crispness.
Yeah. And no soggy products or fat logged. Norman.
So I got a question about the french fries. So after I cut them and put them in the fire, won't they burn? Or, won't they cook?
For your first fry, you do want to, but remember your first cook, right? The first blanch, remember, is what it really is. is at 325. So you are starting to cook them, but you are not frying them. You're par cooking them.
Think of it as like when you make potato salad.
Okay.
You boil your potatoes, right?
Yeah.
So the 325 is you're boiling your potatoes, except you're boiling them in oil.
Okay, that makes sense.
So you're boiling them, making them a little softer. That's why you take them out, and that's why you throw them in the refrigerator. That's where most people make their mistake. They put them in the refrigerator and think, oh, only, I'll put them in there about 5 minutes. No, you actually want to, I mean, I even suggest maybe throw them in the freezer for a little bit. Not too long, but you want to get them cold. You want them to basically stop cooking. Because then when you put them back into that 375, and I recommend that also, chef, because 375 is just that temperature. You're not going to burn them. Even if you cook them at 400, you're not going to burn them. But 375 is perfect. And that's what's going to give you that snap and that crisp. And you're going to say, I'm never going to McDonald's and ordering fries again.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Brianna.
Okay, but okay, so you're saying you have to fry them first on 325? And
Par.
then,
You're par cooking them.
okay, then you take them out and put them in the refrigerator?
Yep, take them out, put them on you want to put them on brown paper, whatever's going to absorb the grease that you already had them in. All right, let them cool down on the counter for a little bit, because if you throw them straight in the refrigerator, that drops the temperature of your refrigerator. So let them cool a little bit after you take them out, then put them in the refrigerator. Let them cool down.
Okay, then after that, you take them out and then put them back in the fryer at 375.
Yes.
Okay.
Making sure that, and don't do like some folks have done in the past. I had a cook who used to turn the, because we worked in a restaurant, used to turn the dial to 375 and then throw stuff in. It's like, no, you wait till it gets to 375. You wait till the temperature reads 375 and then you put them in.
And then with the because I never had fries that was crispy either, and that's why I'm trying to make sure I do it right on the first try. But well, not on the first try, but
Someone said add a little cornstarch in the water. You can do that too, but I guarantee you, if you follow the recipe, they will come out crispy.
So how about what about with when you have the fries, like after they get out the freeze, like out the fryer? I know they come out like really soggy a little bit sometimes.
That's after the 325.
Okay. And then with the cuts, you want to cut them small as McDonald's fries as well?
No.
In the recipe, follow the recipe. We talked about this. About it's about 3 inches, 3.5 inches, 1 centimeter.
Okay. Thank you.
You are welcome.
Chef, so basically we're doing shoestrings.
A little bigger than shoestring.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's almost a batonnet.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a classic French fry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
A real French fry, as my dad would say.
Yeah.
He was not a fan of McDonald's fries. He would make his own crinkle fries. They were always thick, crinkled. He'd get the little cutter out. And I didn't even know he was double, but he was doing that way back in the 70s. So I'll just leave it at that.
I grew up the same way, chef. My dad had like the countertop, but it was like a silver one. When the electric cord still had like that carpety fabric that goes around them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's all I'm saying. So on that note, class, as always, we are here for questions, for anything that's going on. Reach out to us. Get your work knocked out early. Break it into different chunks if you got heavy work schedules.
Yep.
Knock out those knowledge checks, be on time, communicate. If you can't get it in, let us know what's up and how we can help and get you there, all right? Week 1, and we did not have the best turnout. We need to make sure we're cranking it up. Thank you again, everybody, for being here, for being with us. Thank you, Chef. And we will see you all on Friday.
Yep. And thank you to everyone who turned all their stuff in early. And like I said, keep it up. You got 3 items this week. Pace them out. If you want to do the fries and the falafel, you want to do the fries and the burger, do those one day, do the falafel another day. If you need to break it up. All right. And as always, hopefully we will see everybody on Friday. And Roger, yeah, we'll talk later, Roger, about them MREs. Woo, those things. Way too much sodium. 2,400 grams of sodium. But they're supposed to sustain you for the whole day. So, and yes, you're right. No to MRE eggs. Vladimir. All right. Everybody have a great night.
Take care.
Chef.
Stay
Good
safe,
night,
everyone.
guys.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Take care, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye.